If you take photographs of subjects in low light situations or you shoot any kind of video, chances are that you use a tripod fairly regularly. And for the most part, I rely on my Manfrotto 055 series tripods. I've got about 3 of them on the go, various iterations of them, but they're the ones that I tend to grab because they're big, they are very stable, and they are very dependable. But for the most part, they are too heavy to lug anywhere outside of studio environments or anywhere that I can get to with a car. Even this, my carbon fibre CX Pro 4, is too big and heavy to carry around the majority of the time. And that's where this comes in. This is the Manfrotto Befree Advanced. This is, for all intents and purposes, a mini tripod that packs a serious punch. It isn't cheap. It retails at £229, though it can currently be found for £169, which I do think is good value. It comes with a ball head already pre-attached. It has a maximum height of 150 centimetres and a minimum height, as you can see here, of 40 centimetres. That makes it small enough to get into the majority of bags. And the best thing is, this aluminium tripod weighs just 1.5 kilograms. So I received this for review from Manfrotto's PR team. Didn't get paid for it, so it's still an unbiased review. But I thought, how am I going to test this? And then the perfect opportunity came up. I had some corporate video to shoot, and I thought to myself, you know what? After some initial testing of this seems really stable, and I don't want to have to lug in quite as much of my equipment as usual into central London, as I wasn't driving. So I thought I'll take a small chance and I'll take this with me. Now, there are probably people watching this that are going, what on earth are you doing taking a product that you haven't thoroughly tested with you? But at some point you have to go, well, it's a well-made tripod. I've tested it out at home. It seems really nice and stable. This should be fine. And I was right. It was. The best part was, by taking this and another similar tripod, I reduced the weight of the equipment I was carrying by about 3 kilograms, which was absolutely brilliant. Made me very pleased. So let's discuss this tripod. First off, as you can see, it folds nice and flat. It's really easy to unfold. Simply move the legs down and they will lock into their minimum position nice and easily. As you can see, the center column is extended as standard. You just need to twist the adjuster down here to let it down, and then you can just adjust the ball head and hold it in place like so, and that is your minimum usable height, so to speak, whilst you have the tripod set up in a standard configuration. I do like the fact that this is a sturdy tripod. The maximum payload weight that Manfrotto recommend is 9 kilograms. That is a lot for a mini style tripod. Also, if you don't like the ball head that they include, which does feel fairly sturdy, you can remove it fairly easily, and you just have the standard attachment on here for any other tripod head that you might want to use. Now, I would say use some common sense, because at the end of the day, there's no point putting a massive fluid video head on here. But like a geared head or some 3-way heads, if that's what you need, they work just as well too. In fact, that's what I did. I had the 3-way head on here for another video I shot at home recently. The Befree Advanced also has some of the cooler features that Manfrotto has on its tripod, such as the easy link on the side. This is an excellent way of being able to, for instance, attach a monitor to this tripod, so you can attach accessories and make your life a little bit easier whilst you're shooting. Now, one thing I'd really like to discuss is the ball head. It is the Advanced 494 as its specific model number. It has some cool features, so you have the adjustment on the side for the pan, and then you also have the friction adjustment for the ball, but also a I don't know what the separate adjustment is called, but it has an additional slider on the inside so that you can actually adjust how tight the ball is even when it is unlocked, which is really nice if you have a heavy setup, because without locking the ball in place, you can still ensure that your lens and camera don't smash into the side of the tripod by increasing the friction if you want. So you can undo it and not think about it, and it won't necessarily just immediately fall down and smack the lens against the tripod. It's something you'll find on more advanced tripod heads, so it's nice to see it on this too. The thing I would like to discuss is the quick release plate. Now, I need to be honest, this isn't the best quick release plate I've used from Manfrotto. However, it does have some advantages which many users might like. So my opinion here might be skewed in the wrong direction. Now the quick release plate itself, before I had read through all the specs and I was just testing it out, is what looks like an Arca Swiss style one. However, you try and attach an Arca Swiss plate to this and it doesn't work. I was very confused by that indeed. Now what it turns out is this is an RC2. So if you've used Manfrotto tripods before, RC2 is a quick release plate that they've had for many years, which is also Arca Swiss compatible. So if you have this plate attached to your camera, so let's grab the Z6 II that's over here, and I attach this to my camera, I can indeed use this, if I have the dexterity to connect it to my camera. There we are. So I can indeed attach this to an Arca Swiss style release plate. So I have here one of my video ones, just attach it in here, tighten it up, and you know, this is a stable platform. It's a standard Arca Swiss connection. Great, fantastic. Want to put it in the tripod? Yep, can do that as well. And it attaches in place, locked in place, job done, right? But then I thought to myself, wait, this is the RC2. So this is the same as I've had on many other of my Manfrotto products. But why does the release plate look completely different? Well, it turns out that that's just the new version that's also Arca Swiss compatible. But if I pick the standard RC2 release plate here, I can pop it in and it locks in place. And I have to be honest with you, I much prefer this style than the one it comes with. I think the one it comes with is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I just find the older style plates easier to use. And as I don't actually use a huge amount of Arca Swiss compatible release plates, most of mine are Manfrotto or the sort of standard video rails, this is excellent. I love being able to use these plates. So when I've been using this tripod, I've actually just attached the RC2s to my tripod instead. So excellent. Something to keep in mind. So it's kind of weird that they've gone through this trouble of creating a quick release plate that is Arca Swiss compatible, however, haven't gone through the trouble of just putting an Arca Swiss compatible mount on their ball heads. Weird choice. I don't think it's an issue either way, but it's good to know that you can use the older style quick release plates. But if you want to use the one it comes with, absolutely fine too. And if you have other Arca Swiss compatible gear, this will go in. It's just a shame that you can't use like an L bracket that you have attached to your camera that has an Arca Swiss plate built in. That will not work on here. So kind of weird, but kind of cool at the same time, if that makes sense. I'm glad that I can use the old plates is my main takeaway from this. It's not a bad thing, it's just a bit of a difference. Now, rambled on about the Advanced 494 ball head almost enough, I think. It does feel very solid, locks in place. When you do lock it in place, it is rock solid. It's nice magnesium construction. This feels like a very trustworthy ball head. Very happy with that. Maybe a feature omission, doesn't have a spirit level or anything like that in it, so it's a bit of a shame. Maybe it would have been nice to have the actual pan degrees marked on the side of the tripod as well. I guess you can't have everything, and there is sort of a price point element to this, so that's worth keeping in mind. You also have a nice connector here that you can use to hold a bag on to increase the rigidity of the tripod. Personally, again, I kind of prefer them to be on the actual center column, but all my Manfrotto tripods have them on the side, so it's fine that it's there. So now turning our attention to the tripod legs, or the main part of the tripod. The legs have 3 angle adjustments. Now, you adjust them by simply pulling down these silver sliders on the side, which allows you to pull it out from 89 degrees, which is standard, to 54 degrees. Just do that on each side. Nice and quick. Obviously, if I have them set up correctly, doesn't quite fit on the table at this point. However, the center column would have to come up slightly because obviously the minimum height of this would be slightly too low. And the next adjustment is 22 degrees, which is practically flat. We'll have this resting on the table in a moment. Obviously, center column almost has to come completely up. Now, at this stage, it is worth pointing out that Manfrotto does sell separately a advanced short center column, which is much shorter than this and will also reduce the minimum height that you can work at. Now, I do not have that here myself. However, if you wanted to, if we just put the legs down just for ease of use, if you unscrew the center column lock, you can literally pull out the center column and put in the short one if that's what you want to do. It is pretty easy. You don't need to take the rubber grommet off the bottom of the tripod, which is what I thought you had to do initially. And then we go to push that back in, which seems a lot more violent than it was. And we can lock it back in place. So that's how you would change the center column. It is nice and easy. Now, with the tripod on its side, we can just talk through sections. They're 4-section legs. So obviously the first section is when it's fully closed. The next one is like so, the one after that, and the one after that. Fully extended, you'll have the maximum working height of 120 centimeters. If you then extend the center column, you get 150 centimeters. But it must be said that at 127 centimeters, this tripod is surprisingly stable. I was really pleased to see how stable this was, which is why, as I mentioned in the intro, I was actually happy to use this at a proper shoot because I knew I could trust that this would be stable enough in the situation I was using it. So if I even put the center column up here a little bit, there is not a massive amount of flex when you have a camera on here. I'm even going to attach with my old style RC2 plate because it's just easier for me. Pop that on here. That is a nice, stable platform that I'd be happy to shoot with, and indeed was happy to shoot with. So even fully extended, I'd say this is trustworthy. However, when I was shooting video, I did have the center column fully down, which I'm going to be just a little bit too short for with my table here. Oh, we can just about see the camera, good. But yeah, this is a nice stable platform to be shooting on. Make sure that everything's locked in place. You know, if you don't have the legs correctly extended, if you haven't locked the center column, if you haven't locked the tripod, things will not be as stable. But once you do, it is a really nice stable platform and it is quick and easy to use. Quick release plate, easy to use. You do need to prime it by pulling it down to lock your device in place. But once you have, bang, done. You know, you can pick the tripod up by the camera. Because the tripod's so light at 1.5 kilos or just under it, don't need to worry there. This is a nice tripod and it is a trustworthy tripod, which is the most important part. So let's just make this, put this down to its minimum height. Now these quick release plates are pretty quick to use. They gave me an option of these locks or the twist locks. I prefer these switch style locks. It's just a preference of mine. However, if you do have the twist locks, you can actually twist the whole lot to unlock it and pull it out. It is quicker to use. I just prefer these because I know when they're locked and when they're open. And to me, that's more important than speed. So if you're ready to put it away, all you need to do is undo the center lock, pull the center column up, lock it back in place, and pull each of the legs up by the adjustment. And then undo the center column here. Undo the ball head, lock that back in place, and that is it, ready to travel. Do make sure you put your quick release plate on if you take it off, so you have it for next time you use it. Tripods aren't that great about quick release plates, but there you have it. That is nice and small. And this is the carry case it comes with, which is really cute. You don't necessarily have to use it, but it's nice to know it's there. Get to those in a second. Pop it in its case and zip it up. And it even has a little padded shoulder strap on there, though I'd say it's so light you wouldn't actually need to worry about it. And my one also came with 2 Allen keys. I believe they're only supposed to come with 1, but I'll take 2. And the Allen keys just allow you to tighten certain parts of the tripod up, such as the legs here. You can just put your Allen key in and tighten them up if you ever needed to. In this case, everything arrived tight, so it wasn't an issue, but nice that they include that as well. So this is the Manfrotto Befree Advanced. It also comes in carbon fiber at roughly £100 premium. But I have to say at 1.49 kilograms, the aluminium version is, in my mind, perfect. Really enjoyed using this, and I'm going to enjoy using it for a few more shoots in the near future because I'm going back to the same job to do a few more videos. And for me, this is perfect. It is nice and light. It is stable enough to carry a Nikon Z8 with monitor and 2.8 lens as well, zoom lens. It's a nice little tripod, and it folds down into a really nice small package if you don't want to carry too much with you. So there you have it. This is the Manfrotto Befree Advanced. Highly recommend it. Lovely piece of kit. If you're looking for a small, light travel tripod, this is certainly one I would consider. I've also done a roundup of other tripods on this channel, smaller travel style tripods. Link to that above. But I have to say this is a more advanced and better tripod than the others, especially its included Advanced 494. Ballhead is really nice. I like the fact that you can use the older style quick release plates. They're excellent, though it's, I guess, quite cool that Manfrotto have managed to make an Arca Swiss compatible one too. Though it's at that point just a shame they didn't just use an Arca style connector, as that would have made things even easier for people that have camera cages on their cameras. But no, overall this is great, I would say, for both photography and videography. If you have any questions about it, pop them in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Thank you very much for watching. I hope I see you again next time. Goodbye.